Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. In 344 BC, at the age of 12 or around 13 years old, Alexander the Great made a wager with his father that he could tame a troublesome horse that no one else could get near. He ended up not only taming the horse and calming it down, but making it his longtime steed that he would ride into battle for 30 years. He named the horse Bucephalus and loved it dearly. Even though Adolf Hitler admired Benito Mussolini, the feeling was not mutual. Mussolini claimed that the Germans were descendants of those who were illiterate when Rome had Caesar, Virgil, and Augustus. The Germans began building fighter planes mainly out of wood towards the end of World War II because metals were in short supply. The Chicago Cubs finished the 2010s with a winning record. Their win percentage was over .500 for the first time since the 1930s. Tuesday the 13th is considered a day of bad luck in Spanish-speaking countries, not Friday the 13th. In Italian culture, Friday the 17th is considered a day of bad luck. Antarctica was discovered on November 17, 1820, which was only 39 years after the planet Uranus was discovered. The first person to be convicted based on DNA fingerprint evidence was a British man named Colin Pitchfork in 1987. Historical pubs in England have odd names with words such as fox, hound, or boot in them, because many patrons were illiterate and could only recognize the symbols on the sign. Film director Ryan Johnson is actually married to a film critic named Karina Longworth. When your adult teeth grow in, the roots of your baby teeth are dissolved by bone cells called odontoclasts. Because the 2013 science fiction film Riddick was so over budget, actor Vin Diesel had to mortgage his house and obtain loans to finish the production. Alexander Doba is a Polish kayaker who has kayaked across the Atlantic Ocean on 3 separate occasions. He completed his last voyage at the age of 70 years old. Disney CEO Bob Iger claimed that the company was originally going to buy Twitter in 2016, but backed out of the deal because the social media platform didn't feel Disney to him. The doctor who discovered country singer Dolly Parton was paid with a sack of cornmeal because her family was so poor. According to Statista.com, the MLB team that sells the most expensive hot dog in the league are the Washington Nationals at $7 per hot dog. The team that sells the cheapest hot dog are the Baltimore Orioles at only $1.50 a dog. Before the shot clock in the NBA was introduced, players would literally sit on the basketball and wait for the time to run out when their team had the lead. In 1978, NBA center Clifford Ray used his massive hand to reach into a dolphin's mouth and grab a screw that it had swallowed. A veterinarian gave him the instructions over the phone and the procedure was a success. After coffee beans are decaffeinated, some coffee manufacturers will sell the caffeine they collected to soda as well as pharmaceutical companies. In 1674, the Women's Petition Against Coffee in Britain proposed a ban on coffee for anyone under the age of 60 years old because it was turning men into useless people. Author Jules Verne is the second most translated author ever, with his writings being available in approximately 150 languages. However, some of his translations contain errors such as measurements incorrectly converted. William Shakespeare is third on the list and Agatha Christie is the first with the world record. According to a 2017 paper by Science Advances, only 9% of the plastic that's produced worldwide is recycled. Hall of Fame MLB pitcher Nolan Ryan played from 1966 until 1993. He debuted when he was 19 years old and retired at 46 years old. Desalinating water from the ocean can cost $1 to $2 for every cubic meter, while purifying fresh water from a river or aquifer costs only 10 to 20 cents. Queen Elizabeth eats 1 slice of chocolate biscuit cake every day, and she has it transported with her when she travels. Former royal chef Darren McGrady says she'll take a small slice every day until eventually there's only 1 tiny piece, but you have to send that up. She wants to finish the whole of that cake. According to 24/7 Wall Street, the state of Wisconsin is home to 9 of the 20 drunkest cities in the United States of America. The country of Nigeria drinks more Guinness beer than Ireland and is the world's second biggest Guinness market. In 2011, 2 movies were released 6 months apart from each other that had the exact same plot, runtime, and ending. They were the romantic comedies No Strings Attached, starring Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman, and Friends with Benefits, starring Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake. Also, both movies earned about the same amount of money at the box office. Children of the Moken tribe in Thailand have the ability to see with total clarity underwater by constricting their pupils and changing their lens shape. Money laundering wasn't a crime in the United States until 1986, after the Money Laundering Control Act of 1986 was passed. Painter and skiing enthusiast James Nyhughes has hand-painted ski maps for over 200 ski resorts since 1987. He's actually planning on releasing a book that showcases 30 years of his work, thanks to a Kickstarter campaign. Taromancy is the act of divining the past, present, and future by interpreting omens that are found in cheese. The shape, number of holes, patterns of the mold, and other features of cheese were used to predict love, money, or rain. The term lesbian comes from the Greek poet Sappho, who was born on the island of Lesbos. He's considered by many to be a symbol of female homosexuality. Astronauts are required to have good teeth in order to go into space, because the force of the acceleration is so strong. Humans also lose bone density while they're in space. Buddy the Elf's loud burp in the movie Elf was actually real, and it was performed by voice actor Maurice LaMarche. Maurice also played Kif on the animated series Futurama. In 2012, an employee at Burger King anonymously posted an image on 4chan with him standing on lettuce with the caption, "This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King." People immediately tracked him down on the internet and informed the local news. He was quickly fired. When singer Bill Withers wrote the song Ain't No Sunshine, he was 31 years old and worked at a factory that made toilet seats for airplanes. When the single achieved gold status, his record company presented him with a golden toilet. According to Dr. Richard Miller, professor of pathology at the University of Michigan, 100-year-old people are more common than 4-year-old mice. A 4-year-old mouse is the equivalent of a human who is about 136 years old. Mariah Carey and collaborator Walter Afanasieff earn around $3.3 million a year in royalties for the song All I Want for Christmas Is You, 26 years after it was released in 1994. The song remains by far one of the most popular songs on Spotify, accounting for 20% of the 13 most popular Christmas songs that are streamed. Reindeer meat is one of the healthiest meats to eat in the world, and people in Norway love eating it. It contains less fat than beef, has essential fatty acids, is loaded with vitamins and minerals, and more. Norwegians prepare dishes such as smoked reindeer, grilled reindeer pizza, and reindeer tartare. The voting age in Brazil is 16 years old, and it's mandatory for all literate people from the ages of 18 to 70. Brazil introduced required voting in 1932 and lowered the voting age from 18 to 16 in the 1988 Constitution. McDonald's and the US Embassy in Austria have partnered up to help American tourists who are stranded abroad. Americans can go to any McDonald's in the country and will be given both a number and a phone to contact the embassy if necessary. Saudi Arabia's royal family is worth $1.4 trillion, which is 16 times more than the net worth of the British royal family at $88 billion. Similar to the British royal family, they're extremely private about their fortune, even though it's suggested that they live envious lifestyles with huge spending. The artificial Christmas tree was developed in the 1930s by the Addis Housewares Company, which were the producers of toilet brushes. The artificial trees became popular after real trees were difficult to get after World War II. According to Fatherly.com, more than half of American adults still have their childhood stuffed animals. Comedian Nathan Fielder's US green card has him listed as female. The white pieces in chess have a 52 to 56% chance of winning against black pieces, based on the first move advantage. Cyclist Thomas Stevens was the first person to cycle around the globe from April 1884 until December 1886. He rode on a penny farthing, and he only packed socks, a spare shirt, a raincoat that doubled as a tent, a bedroll, and a small revolver. Australia has the highest skin cancer rate in the world. 2 in 3 Australians will be diagnosed with it by the time they reach 70 years old, and 80% of all the cancers diagnosed are skin cancer. Servants in ancient Egypt were smeared with honey to attract flies away from the pharaoh. Reality television stars Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt revealed that they spent most of their accumulated $10 million in earnings in 2010 because they believed that the world would actually end in 2012. But that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of my channel members. You guys are very much appreciated. You help keep my channel going. Thanks again, and I'll see you next video.